Greetings everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm your host Captain Rye, and after a bit of a hiatus from World of Warships, I'm back, playing in my favorite Tier 10 cruiser, the French Tier 10 battle cruiser, Henri IV. Now of course I call it the battle cruiser because it's got these enormous 10-inch guns, and a pretty decent rate of fire and decent armor, and we will see exactly what these 10-inch guns are capable of doing. As the battle gets underway here, it's Okinawa, it's domination match mode, and I actually spawned closest to the A cap point, but unlike other people, I have not fallen for the trap, and I have not made my way into the A cap point. Now if I was a top tier destroyer in a Gearing, a Fletcher, or a Yu Yang, I would probably go and risk it because I know how to play and bug out, but since I am not those things, and since none of my teammates who are in those things spawn closest to the A cap point, we've left the A cap point wide open for the enemy. Managed to land a double citadel on that enemy Baltimore out there, so you can see there that poor guy. He took a big ol' hit there, and now he's trying to run away rapidly. Speaking of running away rapidly, the French cruisers have that speed boost ability, so they are incredibly quick, and that is something that you have to pay attention when you're playing, well, arguably any cruiser, but Frenchies especially, because you gotta look out for your positioning. Now you'll notice here on the minimap my positioning, I'm actually clustered up right in the thick of it with all of the rest of my teammates. I'm not too far forward, and I'm not up so far that I am the primary target for everyone to shoot at. Simultaneously, I'm not too far back that my guns are ineffective, that I can't put effective fire out and help support friendly destroyers. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get my self turned around here. The team is in the process of capping the C cap point. The enemy team has secured the A cap point. Since it was uncontested, they are going to start gaining points here early on. Now you can see here we are in the process at both B and C, but the enemy is contesting at both of those places, so we're just not quite able to get those secured, and it's going to give the enemy team an early points lead. And remember, I always say the team that can get an early points lead usually has a better chance of surviving in the endgame because they can weather losing a ship or two. Now as I get myself turned here, I'm going to have to straighten out and go broadside because I got some torpedoes coming up. Those are probably from the Shimakaze, and I have to utilize my speed to get out of that cone. Unfortunately in the process, somebody who has apparently played against French cruisers enough, knowing full well that he needs to get more lead, does manage to smack me for a nice big citadel, and that really hurt. Now I get my torpedoes off into that smoke screen there. Smoke screen's a little bit outside of the torpedo range, but I'm kind of hoping that the enemy Gearing who laid that smoke screen will just kind of pop out and sail into them, or potentially get those torpedoes to hit onto that Bismarck. Now I'm going to run away because I am being focused down by pretty much everybody on the team. You can see their priority target telling me that I am being focused by everybody. Everybody's shooting at me. My team manages to secure the B cap point. I managed to get some high explosive onto that Bismarck, but I'm swapping back to the armor piercing because at these kinds of ranges, these 10-inch armor piercing rounds will cause a fair amount of damage. Now, the high explosive is more likely to cause fires, absolutely, because they're 10-inchers. They've got like a 40% chance for fire, but the armor piercing will do between 8,000 and 12,000 damage every salvo I manage to land on this guy, provided he's going to give me broadside. And as I drop off detectability here, I have my hydro up just in case somebody else has got torpedoes out and about that I don't see yet. I'm going to get myself situated again, but I'm going to wait until my heal is off cooldown, start recovering some health, and preferably wait until this Bismarck is giving me the profile that I want him to give. Now the enemy team definitely up on points here. We have only managed to secure one cap point, but not long enough because no, this Bismarck and one of their 3 destroyers is contesting it. They are in it. Now, this Bismarck is giving me a nice fat broadside to shoot at, so I'm going to shoot at him, and he is preoccupied shooting at the friendly destroyers up there. Unfortunately, those shots land a little bit behind there, so I'm not able to connect as effectively as I want. More shots out there. The question is, are they going to reach this Bismarck in time, or are those torpedoes going to kill him? Nope, those torpedoes from the Benson actually take that Bismarck out before my shots reach him. A little bit disappointed there, but hey, that Bismarck is dead, and the first blood actually goes to my team. We've secured the C cap point at this point, and so now we can start gaining some points here, and because the enemy team has finally lost one ship, we are actually tied on points. But you see there, they've lost a ship, and they're actually tied for us on points because they had that cap for so long, and as they kill one of our cruisers, they're going to gain the points lead once again. But not for long here, because look at the minimap situation. A good chunk of their team has gone down to the B and C cap points, and while they are contesting down there, the last enemy ship that was spotted up at the A cap point that could contest it is the enemy Lion. And he was last seen basically running away back to his spawn. So I'm going to go ahead, move up in here to the A cap point, and prevent the enemy team from gaining any points, at least in the meantime. Now they are in the process of capturing C, and there isn't anything that's stepping on the cap right now. So there is a possibility that they could secure that and continue to gain points. But if the team is smart, they will stick somebody, a destroyer, in on that cap. But look how quickly they're capturing that location. There are definitely more than one destroyer down capturing the C cap point, and they do manage to secure it, so they are going to continue gaining points. But given that the team is in a position down there, they can at the very least go back, step on it, and contest it. So now nobody's gaining any points at this particular moment, as both B and C are being contested by their respective enemies. But the A cap point is not. And as I push up in here, I'm looking to get around this island and get some flanking shots into the enemy. And that is when the enemy Baltimore pops up. Now remember, this is the Baltimore I managed to smack earlier for a double Citadel right at the beginning. Now, he has his radar active because he's trying to spot and shoot the friendly destroyer that's in the B cap point. Don't know if he's actually able to see him, but the friendly destroyer is playing it kind of carefully. Now, the friendly destroyer, though, has a problem he's got to deal with, and that is the enemy gearing is down there. But in the meantime, this Baltimore has now got other things to worry about. Mainly, he's got me to worry about as he comes around this island here. I have torpedoes out at him, and he's giving me a nice flat broadside to shoot at. So those shots, a little bit high there, no citadels on that one, but some good penetrations, and he has got himself into a world of hurt. And he's just now realized, oh, there's a tier 10 cruiser here shooting at me. Managed to citadel him there, caused a lot of damage to him. Come on, another citadel, not quite enough there, but he's very low health. And now friendly ships are pouring some high explosive fire onto him, trying to steal that kill from me. Managed to finish him off as his last shots come in there, bouncing off my belt armor for the most part. So, at this point, the enemy team has now lost 2 of their destroyers. My team has the absolute destroyer advantage with 3 of our destroyers. We've secured the A cap point, and the enemy team has also lost 2 additional ships, including a battleship and now a tier 9 cruiser, specifically one of their radar cruisers. They only have one other radar cruiser left, and that's the Moskva. And the Moskva, well, he's about half health as well, so that guy's got to be careful. He might be battleship Moskva, but versus battle cruiser Henri, I'm going to give it to the Henri every time. Of course, he's a little bit too far outside of my gun range there. Henri's gun range, impressive at 22 kilometers there. But look what is inside my gun range, the enemy Iowa. He's fairly low health, and at this kind of range, my 10-inch armor piercing will come in and cause some plunging fire. I might even be able to get some citadels on him and finish him off. Of course, that is if I can aim properly. Did manage to score a good number of hits there and a decent amount of damage. Would really, really like to get hits on this guy and finish him up. There's the enemy gearing has popped up there, and because he's out in the open and exposed, hopefully the team will shoot at him. I'm not really in a position to swap to my high explosive at the moment, which is a little bit disappointing because I would have liked to help kill that gearing, but you can see there that gearing is continuously spotted and he is going to get wrecked. Speaking of getting wrecked, enemy rune broadside on. Shots just cleared this island there. He's got a fair amount of health left, but that is until these 10-inch guns double citadel him, knock his engine out, and finish him off. So, enemy room no longer a problem. At this point now, my team has all 3 of the caps, and the enemy team has been pushed back into a corner. This is what happens when you don't want to push, when you just kind of want to group up, cluster up in the back. My team has more ships now, and while they may be lower health, they're in better position to defend the base. Now, enemy Hindenburg off in the distance, I'm going to go ahead and try and get some more armor-piercing shots off at this guy, and with any luck, I'll be able to Citadel him and do to him what I did to his little brother, the Rune, earlier. Gonna try and push in here into the B cap point to help defend and put myself into a better position to push down there. There's the enemy Iowa once again. He's backing up again. He's broadside on, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to get shots off here. Not paying attention, going to end up beaching myself there. The good news is I have my speed boost active for just a little bit longer, so getting reversed off the rocks is not going to be too much of an issue. Shots, not enough lead there on that reversing Iowa. Gonna try it again. He doesn't have a lot of health left. I'd love to secure the kill on this guy, and I should be able to if I've aimed these right, but nope, he gets taken out just before my shots get there, so no luck for me on that front. Enemy Hipper has popped up now, and this Hipper is AFK, and he's being spotted by one of our destroyers, the Yu Yang there. Now, look at the angle that I'm shooting at this Hipper. I managed to Citadel him. He's not quite broadside, but he's broadside enough, and he's AFK, so he's not going to change. However, I'm changing my position in relation to him, and I'm actually going to slowly work around so that I'm going to be basically bow on, and he's going to have a nice angle, but the distance, the range, and these 10-inch guns, look at the dispersion on these guns. They're really, really accurate. More Citadels hitting this guy for 10,000 damage at a time. And really, I'm just trying to damage farm him and hopefully secure another kill. Shots coming in there. He's very low health. Don't quite finish him off. I hit him for about 3,000 damage, but the Yu Yang hits him at the same time and gets the kill. Kind of disappointed by that. But at this point, the enemy team is now down to just 4 ships. They have a Rune, or not a Rune, they have a Hindenburg, they have a Moskva, they have a Yamano, and they have a Lion. All these ships are decent ships to have at the end of the game. Especially that Moskva because he's got the radar. Especially the Rune because he's got those torpedoes, high rate of fire, and pretty decent hydroacoustic. The Lion because he can just put out a lot of high explosive and burn people down. And the Yamato because it is the Yamato. Problem is, they're all clustered up back behind the C-cap point, so I'm going to go ahead and put myself into a position here to defend the C-cap point, if either with torpedoes or with guns. Either way works for me. There's that Hipper trying to switch back and forth between high explosive and armor piercing to get shots to burn down some of these battleships, but keep switching back because, of course, the cruisers keep giving me delicious broadsides just before they turn, and I'm not able to get those wonderful citadels. But remember earlier I had shot at that Yamano with my armor piercing, and I'd actually caused quite a bit of damage to that Yamano with my armor piercing, 11,000. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to drop armor piercing onto his superstructure and hope I can cause some more damage. There's another 3,000 damage. Now with high explosive, I could be setting him on fire and doing about 4,000 to 5,000 damage, but with the armor piercing, I can usually cause more damage, provided I manage to actually hit him. Most of those shots falling just short, hitting the belt and a high angle as opposed to coming through the deck. Of course, that's because I'm turning and he's turning as well. I am being targeted, as you can see there, by, well, at least half of the remaining enemies, but it's not going to be enough at this point, as we have all 3 caps and we cap out on points. 129,000 damage done in that game. No awards, unfortunately, but I did manage to complete a couple of tasks that I wanted to, furthered a couple of other tasks that I wanted to. 8 citadels in that game, though. Very, very nice. No torpedo hits. A little bit disappointed by that. However, I did manage top of the team for XP earned. A little bit surprised by that, considering no awards, but 2,000 base XP earned there. Next nearest guy was our Benson at 1,700 base XP, and nearly everybody on the team earned 1,000 base XP except our Bismarck, who just came in just shy. Anyway, that's it for today's video, folks. If you liked the video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. If you'd like to get semi-regular channel news and updates, you can do so by liking and following me on Facebook. If you'd like to help support me in the channel, you can do so by becoming my supporter on Patreon. If you've got a replay like this one that you'd like to see featured on my channel, you can send it to my email. And if you'd like to watch me play various games live, you can do so by following me on Twitch. You can find the links for all of those in the video description down below. And as always, I'll see you next time. This is Captain Rye, signing off.